Studio J in Atlanta, where we get set for Game 2 of our Thursday night double dip. Kyle Kuzma.
Boy, a star right there, Chuck. He a star.
And the Lakers.
You don't know that yet, Jack.
I know it.
On his way. On his way, Chuckster.
I can see it, Chuck.
Well, that's a star right there.
Yes, I agree.
To take on Russell
Big
Westbrook.
star.
Ernie, I got a great question
And the
for you.
Thunder.
For Ernie?
You have a great question.
How do you know it's great?
Because Ernie asked a question earlier.
Okay.
And so now you
Just
have a
gonna
great
repeat it?
question.
I'm going to repeat Ernie's question.
Oh,
All right.
It's Ernie's great question. Okay.
So, Ernie, you asked us earlier,
Yes.
you said the Indiana Pacers got the second or third best record in,
Number 3 in the East coming in.
and you said, why don't people consider them contenders?
Why isn't anybody talking about him?
Because you just saw why right there tonight. Because they can't beat Boston, they can't beat Milwaukee, and they can't beat Philly, they can't beat Toronto. Like Kenny said, they're a nice collection of players, but they can't beat. This is just my person.
They're 1-1 with Boston. They're 1-2 now with Philly.
I'm talking in a 7-game series.
Okay, all right.
They can't beat them top 4 teams.
Well, yeah, and you know, the biggest thing that, you know, I thought is just as great as Victor Oladipo. He's an NBA All-Star. But against those 4 teams, he's the second best player on the floor, you know, in 7 games. He will have nights where he could be the best player on the floor. But, you know, Embiid, Giannis, and Kawhi are top 3 players. They're the top 3 out of maybe 5 in basketball. They're one of the top 5 guys in basketball. So 3 of the top 5 guys in basketball are in the Eastern Conference. That's the only difference.
And I think Oladipo, you know, he is played like an all-star at times, but I think he has more 6 for 20s than he has miraculous games. I think if he can step it up just a little more on a consistent basis, then maybe they have a shot.
And I don't think that's enough. And Underdog just told me a stat. They're only 9-9 against teams above 500 in the NBA.
Right. Against Boston and Philly and Milwaukee.
And Toronto.
And Toronto, they are 3-6 now with this loss to Philadelphia.
So just to answer your question, Ernest.
All right. Yeah, I asked you a question, and you asked me a question, and here are the highlights.
Great young player, though.
Saw Reggie Miller with...
Man up.
There go my man Sergi.
He was there when you was there?
Yeah.
You just know anybody who's rubbing somebody's back.
No, he gives me massages during the summer.
I know he does. You in the steam rooms.
with a low-kai bracelet.
He don't get a bracelet, though.
Again, Embiid working on that lower back, which we thought it might keep him out of the game, but he did play.
He's a little dramatic, too, so we never know what's happening.
22, 13, and 8 on the night.
Way to play through it, big dog.
Yeah, he said he's a warrior. I know that because he told me.
He didn't tell you. He told Roz Gold on Woody.
You know, I'm a warrior. I'm here for my team.
Oh, that's what he said?
Yeah. That dude is hilarious.
Warriors come out to play.
You can't tell people you're a warrior.
People got to tell you that.
Yeah. And you can't tell people you're a leader.
Oh,
okay.
damn.
Oh, now his head might hurt.
Man up, man up.
So it's a 67-59 Philadelphia lead, and there's Embiid going to work.
Back look all right there, I'm kidding.
Because he's a warrior.
He's say.
Is he a Golden State Warrior?
Thaddeus Young knocks down the 3, so they're trying to get back in it, down 6.
Oh, good move, Jimmy.
Oh.
Butler there, and then
I really hope
Embiid.
I really hope the Sixers get themselves together, man.
They're getting it together.
Yeah, but I'm saying
Look at that. Ah.
They got 8 out of their last 11 games.
Well, they should, though. They should. Like, they're in the conversation, the best team in the East, man.
Oh.
Yeah, no question. It's starting to show.
All they got to do is keep playing and stop worrying about who's doing what.
That's exactly right, Shaq.
Just play. It's everybody's team. Oh, give me that.
What is nice pass.
Just got to get it up sometime, Tariq.
Sabonis there and Tyreek Evans there. The 10-0 run.
Come on, pass the ball.
Yeah, he found
Pass it.
He found it.
The ball should have
Scala.
top of the
top of the key.
Thank you.
I would agree.
And the Philadelphia 76ers, as they begin this 12-game stretch against teams with winning records. And step 1, pretty easy, 120-96. That's an impressive win on the road at the Fieldhouse over the minutes in the books. One of my favorite places in the NBA, the Fieldhouse in Indianapolis. Great place to watch a ball game, and Jimmy Butler.
Why don't you move to Indiana if you like it that much?
I'm just saying it's a great arena.
It is.
It is. It's a shrine. It's a shrine to the game of basketball. It is a shrine.
You got to live in Indiana, though.
To the game of basketball. I'm just saying. The shrine to the game of basketball. Welcome, everybody. American Express Halftime Report. Ernie Johnson, Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny the Jet Smith, Charles Barkley. We didn't know for sure if Joel Embiid was going to play, bothered by a bad back, but he's been out there. What are you doing?
I'm putting on some cologne.
You putting on some what?
Cologne.
Let me just say this about the Philadelphia 76ers. They've got to be the stupidest organization in the history of sports.
Why?
You got a franchise player who's got a bad back, who's injury prone, and you got him out. He can barely walk, and you got him out there playing in a regular season game. You have to be the stupidest organization.
They sat him out for a year.
Dude, he's hurt.
I'm just saying, but
Man
they
up,
sat
he
him
ain't
out.
hurt.
No, dude.
You walk on that court, you play. I don't want to hear that.
The guy's listen.
They can't be stupid. They sat him out for a year.
No, that was 2 years ago. He's played the last couple of years.
Chuck,
but I'm saying,
Chuck,
why would you gave the guy $150 million. He's got a bad back. He's clearly laboring. Why would you play him? Kenny, when you're hurt.
Does he have a mouth, Chuck? Does he have a mouth?
No, sometimes coaches and owners have to protect you from your own stupidity. There was many times I played.
I disagree with that.
Well, we can disagree. There's many times I played in a basketball game, Ernie, and I shouldn't have played.
Yeah, I agree with that. I do agree with that.
Yeah, sometimes
That's
you
why
have
I walk like I do.
And first of all, anybody watching the game can see the guys laboring.
Yeah. I mean, I do agree with the fact that you can never ask a player who worked their salt.
Well, don't play them.
Should you play? Because they always go, well, 50% of me is better than blah, blah, blah. You think that way. Even role players or whatever.
If he's hurt, he shouldn't play.
However, I wouldn't call them. I would say that they've been very protective of this guy.
But this is a difference. This is a new injury. He's clearly laboring.
So he might not come out the second half. But
why put him out there anyway? You don't take no chance with your franchise guy in the middle of the season.
Oh, you
listen.
You can't be soft either.
Yeah, you can't be soft.
Listen, the
You
guy
can't just take a chance.
The guy's hurt. You can see it.
All right, now
I watched the first half. The guy's hurt.
Now you're gone, but you're not. I'm not going to have you to the point where you're soft enough to say that we can't fight through being hurt or being injured.
He is one of the American Express teammates for Philadelphia as we look at the scoring breakdown in the first half. Jimmy Butler with 13, Embiid had 9, also had 4 rebounds and 5 assists. He went 4 for 11 from the floor, and Ben Simmons is 0 for 3 from the floor. Does have 4 assists, 5 boards. And let's shift.
Ben Simmons doesn't have to score to be a good player. Like that, there's a difference. There's certain guys.
Don't you think he needs to improve his shot?
No. Well, I think he could. I think he could score. I'm not saying he doesn't have to. I'm not saying he doesn't need to. You're right. He could. But what makes Ben Simmons great to me is that he creates a pace for the Philadelphia 76ers that everyone can play comfortable by. He does the same things that Jason Kidd did. He does the same thing that Steve Nash, the same thing that Steph Curry does in Golden State. When they're in their game, they play at a pace that no matter what you do, they're going to play that way.
However,
that is his strength and his superpower.
However, come playoff time, that pace is going to slow down, and he's going to have to hit shots and score points.
And that's what happened to him against the Celtics.
Boston, yeah.
And Kenny, I'm going to agree with you and disagree.
Okay.
He can be a good player, not being able to shoot. He can't be a great player.
Okay.
Like, he can be a good player, but he cannot be a great player until he learns how to shoot. Because Shaq is 100% correct. Once you play against the elite defensive team, like he did against the Celtics, they're going to make him score.
Let's go to Jimmy Butler while we have time. What you saw in the first half?
What's he complaining about?
Well, no, I could.
The check didn't have pictures of him.
I can understand why a guy like Jimmy Butler complains, because he's a very talented guy, and he's probably just saying to the coaching staff, "Hey, I want you to use my talents." However, me and Chuck played with a guy named Cedric Ceballos that can give you 30, 40 anytime. He never complained. This is what he did. You just move without the basketball, and then when you get the basketball, you produce. So I don't know, his plays or whether or not called, but when you get the ball, if you got a high percentage shot, take it. I like how you play. I like the energy you play with. But don't complain about shots. Just move and play basketball. Cedric Ceballos, I played him for 3 years. Never, ever complain about plays. And at nights, he'll give you 30, 40, and 50. Am I right, Chuck?
And let me tell you something. I love Cedric Ceballos. And one thing Jimmy Butler has to understand, when I was a great player in Philadelphia, we sucked. And I had to score every single basket every night. It was awful. And we didn't win. Jimmy Butler is a really terrific player, but he's never won or been on a really good team. When you play with better players, other players are going to get the ball. You get, like when I told you, Dan Marley and Kevin Johnson, when I got those guys, it was like I had went to heaven, which I'm never going, number one.
Well, they got you, actually.
Yeah.
Because they were already there.
You know that for a fact.
Oh, it's going to be hot where I'm going, Ernie. It's going to be hot. And you know what I'm going to do some mornings? I'm going to go over to Shaq's house and wait.
You're right, Chuck.
But Jimmy has to understand, Ernie, and the Celtics are going through this right now. You get less shots when you play with better players. When you're on a bad team, you get all the shots because you're the one who sucked the least.
Hey, you might want to invest in some.
Just in case. You might need this later, yes.
Or some asbestos. Maybe you can invest in that.
You gonna come to my house, Chuck?
Hey, Shaq, get up. Let's go play golf.
Welcome to the American Express Halftime Report. American Express, the official card of the NBA.
Around the NBA on this Thursday night, Joel Embiid, he is still listed as a game-time decision. Training table right now courtside being worked on, lower back tightness. He did participate in shoot-around, but unknown if he'll be able to play tonight against the Indiana Pacers. Let's bring in Jay Michael, who covers the Pacers for the Indy Star, friend of the program. Jay, Pacers come in, winners of 9 of their last 11, and Victor Oladipo talking about nobody respects us. Pulling an old Rodney Dangerfield, huh? What type of motive? Where is this coming from?
Well, I mean, they still don't, they kind of get mentioned as an afterthought. But again, you kind of expect that from a team that's in Indiana. He's actually even acknowledged that too. He said a lot of people don't see us as a big market. I get that. But, it's they continue to win. And even more so, I think they continue to win, even like a game against Phoenix the other night. They score 131 points, and Oladipo only had 8. So it's not just Oladipo and the new star power that he has brought with him. They're obviously getting it done in ways that doesn't require Oladipo to have breakout games every time. So and I think he wants to see some of his teammates, guys like Miles Turner and Thaddeus Young, get a little bit more shine.
Well, Victor has taken a little bit of a reduced role this year in the offense, but I think most would agree that's because others have been able to step up and complement him. How do you think that, plus the 11 games he's missed due to injury, will impact his ability to be selected as an All-Star?
I think the 11 games have a lot to do with it. Actually, in the most recent game against Phoenix, there was a break in the action. He was on the opposite court, other half of the court. Somebody was shooting a technical free throw. And you could see him going through some stretches in some quick sprints, testing out his knee. Now, after the game, he said he didn't have a problem with it. I asked Coach Nate McMillan. He said he didn't have any indications that Victor was having any more issues with soreness in that knee. But what the eye test said, not only by him doing that, but his jump shot looked incredibly flat in that game. He went 2 for 11, had a lot of good looks. It just never looked good, and I think it was more about his legs than it was anything else. So I think that's going to impact him heavily. But, this is going to be a test of how much stardom you really do have, because if you are truly a star, you can have a little bit of a down season. Think about some of the times that Carmelo Anthony made it, and He still made it. Why? Because he was just so popular among not only fans but coaches. You have that respect, and they give you the benefit of the doubt in these situations.
Hey, we only have 30 seconds here. Want to get your take on the improved play of Miles Turner. Team 13-1 when he scores 15 or more.
Fantastic. They give up 118 points a game without him defensively. They hold teams to close to 100 with him. So it's not just offense. He's spacing the floor on offense. He's been great like that. But defensively, he's a game changer. He's a rim protector, and he helps cover a lot of busted coverages. It makes other guys look good.
Jay Michael from the Indy Star covering the Indiana Pacers tonight, who we'll see on TNT coming up at 7 Eastern against the 76ers. Jay, thanks for your time. Coming up next, the starters. Are the Warriors the most hated team in sports? And was Kyrie sending a coded message in his apology to LeBron? That's coming up in a couple of moments.
I had to call Bron, and tell him, I apologize for being that young player that wanted to everything at his fingertips, and I wanted everything to be at, my threshold. I wanted to be the guy that led us to championship. I wanted to be the leader. I wanted to be all that, and the responsibility of being the best player in the world and leading a team is something that's not meant for many people. And Bron was one of those guys that came to Cleveland and tried to really show us what it's like to win a championship, and it was hard for him.
Well, Kyrie has certainly done a lot of talking. Last night, before he talked again, he did some serious playing with his 27 points and career-high 18 assists to rally to beat the Raptors in a very big game for the Celtics, who snap a 3-game losing streak. Grant Hill, Jared Greenberg. Just the question here, though, with Kyrie is, why does he feel compelled to constantly bring up leadership as a topic for the public?
You know, I don't know, but it does surprise me that he's doing that. And, you know, a couple things. One, I mean, he was upset about that Orlando Magic game and came out and apologized, which I think demonstrates good leadership. I also don't mind him calling LeBron James. I mean, LeBron James is the best player in the world. You play together, you had great history, and you can apologize and learn from him and pull from him. But to broadcast that, to talk about it like he did, I don't like how that looks, in the sense that if I'm a young guy on the team, are you talking about me? Now, in all fairness to Kyrie Irving, who's a really good person, a smart guy.
A Duke guy,
the brotherhood. But you don't know what's going on in that locker room. You don't know if maybe he's had these discussions. Maybe he's told the guys, I talked to LeBron. Maybe he's told them, I'm going to talk public. I mean, you don't know what's happened in that regard. But I just, as someone who's been in the locker room, as someone who's been a leader in the locker room, you know, there's certain things that you just keep to yourself, or you keep in the locker room. And so talking about all of that, I just don't like that sort of, you know, subtle backhand, just a little jab that you take at some of the guys. And so, but, you know, he is as great a player as he is, and he's a closer in the finals. Right. He's learning how to become a leader, much like LeBron learned to become that leader that he is now.
Right, interesting. We got plenty more to do on Game Time Live, presented by Kia. 10 before tip style. Grant Hill, Jared Greenberg. Joel Embiid, we're monitoring his status as he plays on TNT. Plus, we've got a change to the starting lineup for the Toronto Raptors. Kyle Lowry will play. We'll get you up to speed next.
I think from my angle of watching the replay, I want to go watch. I haven't watched it again. I was peeking over their shoulder. It kind of looked like it started just on its tick down. I thought Zoe made a heck of a play, but we had a breakdown in coverage. That was supposed to be a switch, and we didn't switch, and we paid for it.
Okay, here's a couple of updates tonight around the NBA. Still waiting on Joel Embiid's status. We've just learned Wilson Chandler, dealing with an illness, will be able to play. Kawhi out with rest. This has changed. Kyle Lowry will play tonight and start. Fred VanVleet gets the start alongside Lowry and Danny Green with Kawhi out. There is talk in Toronto tonight against the Suns that Patrick McCaw could make his Raptor debut. Meanwhile, LeBron James still out the next at least 2 games. We take you courtside and take a look at De'Aaron Fox here. Grant, I tell you, this has been a lot of fun having you on this 10 before tip edition of Game Time Live, presented by Kia.
I'll tell you, this might be my favorite show on NBA TV. Jared, thanks for having me on. But De'Aaron Fox, what a talented young player. So much improvement from last year. Fun to watch. Be a great matchup against Kemba Walker.
It's been a lot of fun. I don't know if we're on camera or not. Ooh, I got the fist pump from you there. So the starters coming up here in a couple of moments, top of the hour. I'll be back with Kenny Smith for Game Time Live, leading into the TNT doubleheader coming up at 6:30 Eastern. Grant, thanks for joining us. Stay tuned. Here come the starters.